You read the title of the video. It's about Netflix One Piece adaptation. But before I start, I want to talk about the original One Piece for a minute. I started watching One Piece about 2 weeks before the Netflix version was about to come out. Unlike other live action adaptations, this one was being hyped beyond belief because, well, it's One Piece. It's the biggest manga in the world, and a live adaptation seems like the scariest idea ever. I was curious to watch it, but I never watched the original, so I finally decided to give it a chance and get at least 200 episodes in before I even attempted to watch the live action one. This was all back at the start of August, when I was still skeptical on whether this adaptation would be good. Either way, like many other people, after seeing all those Gear 5 clips, I had to start One Piece at that point. So I did, and now I'm on episode 184, and I am having a great time. By the way, Skypiea is a great arc, and a lot of you out there are wrong. It is really fun. I'll talk more later about the One Piece anime when I feel like I got a good grip on the show, because even though I'm almost 200 episodes in, I feel like I only scratched the surface of this gigantic odyssey. Anyways, I got a good start on the anime, and a day before the Netflix adaptation, it was getting massive amounts of positive reviews, and even before that, there were screenings for the show all around the world, and Oda himself went to every screening to make sure that the show was hitting all of the right marks. So with everything out there with the casting, the set designs, the music, and Oda giving his full blessing to Inaki right before the show aired, did this live action adaptation do a good job? Yeah, I think so. God, there is so much to like about this first season. They get a lot of stuff right, a little bit of stuff wrong, but a lot of it hits just right. Look at me, make it a little Goldilocks and the Three Bears analogy to describe One Piece. Let's get the obvious out of the way. It's not going to be one-to-one with the anime or the manga, and it does work to its benefit in some areas, while in some cases, it can hurt the pacing. Hey, so I took a break from editing for a minute, and I was scrolling through the internet, and I found IGN's review, and they basically said that the show was too worried on trying to recreate every major event from the manga. Really, Kenneth? Really, Kenneth? Did this person even watch the same show? Jesus, man, do you hate fun? I'll go into more details on the differences in a bit. Right now, I just want to talk about the incredible casting. Seriously, Libby Goldstein and Junie Lowry Johnson, I really hope I'm pronouncing that name right. You two are the best casting directors on the planet because the way the characters all look as well as they act are all perfect. My 4 favorite castings were definitely Inaki as Luffy, Mackenyu as Zoro, Stephen John as Mihawk, and my personal favorite, Jeff Ward as Buggy. Bro, if they make a season 2, I need to see more of Buggy. He really was just that damn good.
I mean, sheesh, fans have gotten so toxic.
The set designs are also a part to praise because all the areas all feel like how they did in the original, while making some big and slight differences. Especially the Baratie set and Logetown set. Even though we only see Logetown in the beginning for the first episode, it looks so good. It's really easy to tell everyone on the show treated it as a passion project by putting details everywhere to make this resemble One Piece to a T. There are really nice stylistic choices like the wanted posters flashing for which pirate is on screen. That is a really nice touch. Another aspect that had people worried was the CGI for the show and how it was going to be used for Luffy's rubber powers and other powerful individuals in the One Piece universe. Well, that part is good too. I'm glad Luffy is able to get really animated and use his abilities whenever he can, because the CGI complements the weirdness of his abilities. He even was able to do a Gum Gum balloon, but it didn't look uncanny or anything. It's definitely better CGI than the Flash movie, I'll say that. What the heck? Speaking of speedster effects, the speed effects on Kuro and the Chop abilities with Buggy are also really good. The fights overall are clean as hell and have a really great weight to them in choreography. Characters will get pushed back by like 20 to 30 feet, and it's like watching a Telugu film or Bollywood movie where the action is just super over the top, but it's really, really fun. There is a lot of small and big factors that surround the show, and they all fit really well together, but none of that matters unless the story is well told and gets to the heart of what One Piece actually is. So this is 8 episodes long, and each one is an hour in length. Looking at it, you can tell a lot of stuff has to have been cut for runtime so that they could get to more important story moments. Trust me, I highly doubt we're gonna get that episode where they go off to an island and they see that one dude inside of a treasure chest. And by the way, I forgot that episode existed until today. Not every change is going to land, and I'm not gonna talk about all of them, but I'm gonna go and discuss some of them. I'll just say this, I really like the change to show Gold Roger first before Luffy. Even when watching the anime, I thought in the beginning it would help to give viewers a brief but powerful first impression of the King of the Pirates right before he died, so we can feel the great weight of the One Piece has on the world. It's only 3 minutes and it tells you all you need to know, so it's really great at getting you immersed. Oh hey, look, it's Shanks and Mihawk.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
We then get to Luffy, where he's not in the barrel, but he's on a little boat, talking to a bird because he's crazy.
So what do you say? Are you with me?
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Mutiny.
And not a minute later, his boat is sinking into the water, and hey, he gets into the barrel. Okay, so I'm only 200 episodes in. God, only 200 episodes. Just saying that makes me sound like a psychopath. And I don't really know if that's seen later, but it's cool how we actually see Luffy get into the barrel before he's actually brought onto Alvida's ship. Changes like this are great because we still have the One Piece story we know, but make slight changes such as this so that One Piece fans will love and appreciate it, while it gives newcomers a great introduction to the story. We also have these first two episodes going in between both Luffy's past and his present, instead of having one episode dedicated to his backstory. With the flashbacks, we get manga original scenes like Luffy almost stabbing his eye to show how he got the scar, we get Shanks grabbing Luffy's arm and seeing it stretch to show he took the gum gum fruit, and we get original scenes that weren't in the manga but briefly mentioned in the story. By the way, I want to give major props to Inaki Godi for his portrayal of Luffy. He got so many of the mannerisms down, and it was so sweet to hear that Oda picked Inaki for Luffy because he made him laugh. Nice job, man. You did incredible. So yeah, while we have original scenes that are present in the show, some original scenes are taken from moments in the One Piece story that's either briefly mentioned or scenes that give further explanation on what happened, like how Luffy got in the barrel. Those aren't the only changes though. There are so many, in fact. I believe you should watch the show for yourself and see how you enjoyed the story that is told in this rendition. Also, I don't want to use too many scenes from the show because I don't want to get strike down by YouTube's copyright system. Alright, spoilers for the show if you haven't seen it, but only for the first episode. First big change is when we meet Zoro. We don't first see him strapped to the wood poles waiting for death. Now we see him waiting in a bamboo forest waiting for someone. He is in fact now waiting to duel. Specifically, duel Mr. 7. No, not this Mr. 7 in the clock tower, the original Mr. 7. If you're confused, let me explain. During the fight between Mr. 1 and Alabasta, Zoro and him talk about how Zoro was almost recruited to the Baroque works. It's pronounced Baroque, you stupid idiot! But said no and took out Mr. 7. This is all we know about the encounter, and it's never seen in the manga. In the live action adaptation, we actually see that fight happen. It's moments like this that separate the anime from the Netflix show that breathe new life into the world of One Piece. There are so many changes I don't want to get into since I want you to watch the show for yourself, because trust me, there are a lot of changes that are pretty big, and when you watch the show for yourself, it'll surprise you. It surprised me because what they were able to fit into the show was stuff I haven't even gotten to in the original anime. I will say, the pacing isn't all good due to some of these changes, which is funny because the anime itself in the early episodes were not paced well either, but in the sense of the story bits. Some changes will be for better or for worse depending on how much you enjoy it. Not bad storytelling, but if you are a fan of the manga and or the anime, some missing story moments may be jarring at first. For the big fans of One Piece, there are some changes I know that people will either not like or really enjoy, because while it does reference certain scenes from the manga, it's still doing a lot of its own thing, and I think the changes work in their favor, while some changes I feel may hinder the storytelling. I won't go too deep into what the changes are because I don't want to spoil anymore, but if you want to watch One Piece, you will definitely notice it. It's like the adaptation of The Last of Us. While the show follows the story, it has changes in between to give a new perspective on the narrative as a whole. Small changes like having an extended look at Sarah's life before she passed, to big changes like the episode Long Time, where the entire Bill story from the game is completely different. Even though it had all those changes, it still had the feeling of The Last of Us, so the heart of the game's story was still there. Not to say that The Last of Us and One Piece are comparable, but what I mean is change in a story isn't bad as long as the change fits within the context and theme of the story. You hear that, Witcher writers? Respect the source material.
What's going on? Why don't they like it? We spent $250 million on this.
If you are someone who is skeptical of a show like this, I don't blame you. With how animation isn't fully respected as a medium, it's hard to hear live action adaptation and not cringe from the impending fear of your favorite animated series getting an awful live action version. Trust me, I'm still feeling the effects of The Last Airbender. M. Night Shyamalan is still on my shit list.
My name is Zong.
No! That is not solid!
Zong!
I mean, even Oda himself said he had no reason to make this live action version of One Piece due to the wacky nature of the story. But as time went on, he saw the advancements of today's technology and production quality and was more confident than ever that this can work. For what it's worth, I believe Oda and everyone involved should be proud. Now that it's over for now, I'm going to continue the anime. It will be interesting to see if we can get to Skypiea by the end of season 2. Alright, that's the end of the video. Thank you for the team who made this show possible, because the live action anime adaptations never really work out most of the time, but this was the first time where many fans of the show and people interested with One Piece gave it a chance and really liked it. Alright, well that's the end of the video. You guys have yourself a damn good day, alright?